गच्छामि संघं शरणं गच्छामि
ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो न प्रचोदयात् ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो न प्रचोदयात् ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो न प्रचोदयात् ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्ति
ॐ गणानां त्वा गणपतिं हवामहे कविं कवीनामुपमश्रवस्तमम् ज्येष्ठराजं ब्रह्मणां ब्रह्मणस्पद आनशृण्वन्नोतिभिः सीदसादनम् प्रणो देवी सरस्वती वाजेभिर्वाजिनीवती धीनामवित्र्यवतु गणेशाय नमः सरस्वत्यै नमः श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः हरिः ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः।
नमो तस्सा भगवतो अरहतो सम्मा सम्बुद्धस्सा नमो तस्सा भगवतो अरहतो सम्मा सम्बुद्धस्सा नमो तस्सा भगवतो अरहतो सम्मा सम्बुद्धस्सा बुद्धं शरणं गच्छामि धर्मं शरणं गच्छामि संघं शरणं गच्छामि द्वितीयंपि बुद्धं शरणं गच्छामि द्वितीयंपि धर्मं शरणं गच्छामि द्वितीयंपि संघं शरणं गच्छामि तृतीयंपि बुद्धं शरणं गच्छामि तृतीयंपि धर्मं शरणं गच्छामि तृतीयंपि संघं शरणं गच्छामि.
Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory, forever and ever. Amen.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Ar-Rahman-ir-Rahim. Malik Yawmiddin. Iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka nasta'in. اهدنا صراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين آمين.
ओंकार सतनाम करता पुरख निर्भव निर्वैर अकाल मूरत अजूनी सैभम गुरु प्रसाद जप आद सच जुगाद सच हे भी सच नानक हो से भी सच.
Om Shri Sai Ram.
On behalf of Region 6 of the Jesus Disciple Organisation UK, it is my great pleasure to be able to welcome all of you to our regional programme that celebrates this auspicious occasion of Buddha Poornima. In his 1998 Chinese New Year discourse, Swami said that the Buddha's main teaching was, in fact, the Buddha's final teaching was, truth is God. Speak the truth. Do not harm anyone. Recognize that the highest dharma is non-violence. 2 years later, on the occasion of Buddha Poornima itself, Swami repeated this last point, so emphasizing that the Buddha's main teaching was ahimso paramo dharma. Non-violence is the greatest dharma. So on this occasion of Buddha Poornima, it is wonderful that all the centres and groups of this region have come together for this celebration. We have started, as you've already heard, with the Vedam and prayers, multi-faith prayers. We have some offerings and presentations and talks by the SSE children of our region. We have some guided meditation by our regional young adults. And of course, we will be ending the programme later on with group devotional singing from all representatives from all centres and groups in this region. We are also very fortunate to be graced today by His Eminence, the Third Dubseng Rinpoche. He's going to be taking time out of his busy schedule to talk to us today on the Buddha and his compassion. But now I have the great pleasure of handing you over to our SSE children and the first of their slots today. And they are going to be starting with an introduction to the Buddha. Sairam.
Sairam. Our humble salutations at the divine lotus feet of our dear Bhagavan. Today we're celebrating Buddha Poornima, or Vesak Day, in order to commemorate the birth, enlightenment, and passing away of Lord Buddha. It falls on the full moonth day in the month of May. As we partake in today's programme, let us experience and reflect deeply upon the life and teachings of Lord Buddha, so that we may strive to apply it in our daily lives.
So who truly is a Buddha? Swami, in one of his discourses, explained, a Buddha is not a personal name. Buddha is one who is spiritually enlightened, mentally awakened, and who has realized supreme truth. He is one who practices the unity of thought, word, and action. His heart is ever full of compassion and love.
Sairam. In 2006, Baba stressed on how this festival should be celebrated. He said, the same divine principle of love is present in all of you. When you take to the path of love, you will become Buddha yourself. Poornima means full moon. The underlying message of Buddha Poornima is that the mind should shine with total purity like the full moon. It should unite with its source, i.e. the Atma, which is pure and effulgent. There is no darkness on the full moon night. On this auspicious day of Buddha Poornima, we should attain purity of the mind. Sairam.
Sairam. It is a great honour and privilege for us today to have His Eminence, the Third Dubseng Rinpoche, to talk about the compassion of Buddha. He has visited over 100 countries to share the teachings of Buddha. During the past year, His Eminence has selflessly and tirelessly travelled everywhere in Europe. Many students from within as well as outside Europe were able to receive his precious teachings and blessings, either directly or via Zoom.
First of all, I shall start with the Buddhist, the first word spoken after attaining the state of enlightenment. So, which is Dujitau Chushik Dakini Sula Tenjang Kowar Minupe Mima Namashin Neparchas. So what it means, I have found, like immortality's nectar, which is not so easy to understand for everyone. So when the right time comes, I shall speak out. Till then, I might meditate and stay in this forest, this very place where Buddha meditated, and followed by that verses, then all the gods appear in front of Buddhas and requested that you, Buddha, please turn the wheel of Dharma, because all the beings, especially human beings, are living in very dark age, meaning not able to see the wisdom, not able to see the cause of suffering and cause of happiness. With your wisdom, with your compassionate attitude, might pacify, remove this darkness. So that's how Buddha started to turn the wheel of Dharma. So I shall recite the Buddha's mantra as you requested. Tadyatha Om Muni Muni Mahamuni Shagyamanaye Soha. Tadyatha Om Muni Muni Mahamuni Shakyamanaye 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 Soha. So this is now this is the mantra that talk about Buddha's qualities. Buddha's quality meaning here, Buddha who defeated the anger, jealousy, ignorance, ego, so on, these kind of like defilements, So you, Buddha, who defeated all these defilement, you, Buddha, who victory over this defilement, Shakya, the clan of Buddhas, yes. So you, Buddha, I pay homage. I also wish to gain same attainment. So that way, one can recite this mantra, one can meditate Buddha's meditation on Buddha with this recitation mantra, with this understanding. Yes, so that's how one can do. Yes, so at the same time now, I'm now trying to talk about the Buddha's compassions here now. So Buddha's compassions, now basically everybody knows that the compassion itself is. So compassion meaning is that you see someone, you see somebody who suffers, yes, who suffers, whatever suffering he or she, it's sufferings. So kind of wish to overcome that suffering, whatever he or she or it is going through. So as long as we have that kind of like attitude, that kind of like wish, that kind of like motivation to remove his or her sufferings, yes, then that's what we call is compassion. So probably you might know about that in any different kind of like how you say the language or different kind of like channels, different kind of like religions, different kind of like background you might know, or how you define the compassion itself. But here the Buddha's compassion here is not the temporary sort of like suffering or problems that we wish to benefit, that we wish to overcome, that we wish to help, him or her or them, but more about ultimate sort of suffering that we wish to overcome, for himself, for herself, for themselves, for ourselves, for every sentient beings, basically, so that's the Buddha's compassion, especially, so here the compassion is related with what? Related with bodhicitta. Bodhi meaning what? Enlightenment. Citta meaning that sort of attitude of mind, that kind of like, altruistic mind, sort of attitude of mind, altruism, So basically, that compassion or Buddha's compassions here, it defines that we wish all the sentient beings, not only limited sentient beings, not only like to whom we love so much, like our, in our life, there are so many people that we love him or her or them, but that is also compassion, but it is bias, yes, biased compassion. But Buddha's compassion meaning what? Unbiased, yes, that kind of compassion. So that kind of compassion is like limitless, not like limited sentient beings, rather like all the sentient beings, not only human, not only animal, not only, like one category, but all the sentient beings that we wish to overcome. All the sentient beings, they have sufferings, benefit or help or whatever, we call. So that compassion also not like, oh, somebody is suffering from what? Let's say he or she doesn't have enough food. Okay, So we wish to help him or her or them. That's fine. This is very good. But here compassion is looking more the root of the cause of the suffering rather than the result of the suffering. How we can really cut the cause root of these suffering problems, not just like one time of food, not just like short time sort of problems or sufferings. So that's the Buddha's compassions. So what we can see here, compassion is that when we start these compassions, we start from to whom we love so much, our parents, our family members, our friends, whoever. Then gradually we extend these same kind of compassions, to whom we love so much, him or her, that we sort of like, how to say, that we share, that we generate, the affections that we share. So gradually we extend to every sentient beings. That's the Buddha's compassions here. Yes, one thing. Second thing is that compassion is not just for momentary kind of like suffering to remove or overcome, rather the permanent sort of solutions. That is the Buddha's compassions. So now here, when we meditate on compassions, when we apply this compassion, how we do this, in practice. So that first of all, we try to sit, and then sit comfortably, and then we think of someone to whom we love so much. So to whom we love so much. So that way, we can, how to say, we can how to say, we can somehow now in a way that you could also sometimes start with our pet. If we sometimes now these days, like there are sort of like so many things that we somehow difficult to generate compassions, although we love him or her, but these days a bit difficult. So what is the best way? What is the best way here? What is the best way here is that we could really generate the compassions, but something that is very easy, something that is like, how do you say, you don't feel uncomfortable at all. Yes, that is one way. And then when we practice that compassions with meditations, then here, as I said earlier, to someone, to him or her, or to it, or whatever, that we take it into these meditations, and then we generate lots of compassions. We try to see that he or she is whatever suffering, problems, sicknesses, whatever that we think that we can bring into, and then we try to mentally, through meditations, we try to remove his or her sufferings, and gradually we extend these to more and more sentient beings. Yes, that's how we generate the compassions. So now the second thing is here, the compassions here directly connected with what practice. If we talk about the Buddha's compassions, Buddha talked about the ultimate bodhicitta and the momentary or the relative bodhicittas, absolute bodhicitta or relative bodhicittas. So the absolute bodhicitta is like beyond our grasping, or beyond our, like I and you, that kind of like dualism or dualistic view. However, the relative bodhicitta here, it means that that we can apply into something that we wish and we do. Some first thing is what, through the mind, that we wish something, and then the second thing from speech and the body, that it takes the actions. So this is related with this kind of like the compassions. So always we try to generate the compassions through this enlightened mind. Why? Because that every sentient beings, everybody's, yes, doesn't wants to, like, how do you say, have or experience, or doesn't want suffering, basically, yes. Nobody wants suffering. Nobody, including, like small insect and so on. So same thing, every sentient being wish or wants happiness, right? Based on this is now the principle here, how to build up the compassions. Based on this, this sort of ground, then we generate, the compassions or the bodhicitta, so that, oh, I wish to attain the state of Buddha. I wish to attain the state of enlightenment. For whom? For all sentient beings. Why? Because every sentient being doesn't want suffering. Every sentient being wish happiness. Yes, that's how, we do. We how to say? Yeah, that's how, generate the compassions. So talking about compassion, basically now the essence of compassion is like that. Yes. Now there are so many different kind of like practices that one can able to how to explore about the compassions. Yes. Start from the level 1 to, or let's say level 100 levels, or start from the level 1 to level 1,000 levels. You can gradually, day by day practicing on compassions, that one can somehow, develop or meditate, or progress, or that kind of capacity that we process. Basically, why? Now here is very interesting that now the scientific proof here is that scientists also now, before and now is different. Before, like 2-3 decades before, the scientists do not really accept that the human beings' nature is compassionate. Compassion, like that. We possess the nature of compassion. But somehow nowadays, scientists, and it is a scientific proof that scientists say that, oh, human beings, like our basic nature is what? Compassionate nature. Compassion. We possess that nature of compassion. Why? Because every sentient beings, including human beings, without the compassion of mother, who take cares, or who somehow, keep the keep the child in mother womb for 8, 9, 10 months. Yes, 8, 9, 10 months. So that wouldn't be possible that someone could survive, without mother care, without the mother's compassion. So someone who comes into this world started already with these unique and genuine and like pure compassion. So therefore, the basic human nature is compassion. Nowadays, compassionate nature we possess. So this is a very, very beautiful nature that we can explore, and that we can somehow develop, having this understanding, having this true nature that we possess. Yes. So yeah. So I think short talk about the true compassion. I think that's it. So I thank you very much for Sai Baba organization from UK for inviting me to share a little bit about Buddha's compassion. And yeah, so I also thank everyone who joins this Zoom, and short notice, especially to all the Dhamma brother sisters. It's just just a short notice. 5 minutes before, probably I informally that I share with you. So yeah, thank you, Didi, for inviting me and organizing this talk over the Buddha Jayanti occasions. Thank you very much.
There are many important lessons we can learn from the Buddha. We are now going to share some of these beautiful lessons with you. Baba beautifully explained the true meaning of the prayer using the 3 refuges or the 3 jewels. Buddham sharanam gacchami, Dhammam sharanam gacchami, Sangham sharanam gacchami. You must divert your buddhi, your mind, towards dharma, right conduct, and right conduct should aim at serving society. When this is done, society gets purified.
Buddha taught the world gratitude. After attaining enlightenment, the Buddha gazed at the Bodhi tree for 7 days with loving kindness. He was showing his gratitude to the tree, which provided him shade, shelter, and protection from the inclement weather, helping him to realize enlightenment.
Sairam. To recognize the divinity within man, Buddha recommended that a certain lifestyle should be followed, i.e., the Noble Eightfold Path, so that we can control our senses. Swami tells us that the Noble Eightfold Path can be easily followed when we fill our hearts with love. We now explain this path to you.
Sai Ram. Buddha declared that everyone should cultivate at the outset right vision, seeing only things that are holy. Having been bestowed with the great gift of eyes, man should use them for seeing sacred objects and holy beings. Sai Ram.
The second quality that is needed is right thoughts. Everyone should have pure thoughts. Only the person with purity in vision can have purity in thoughts.
Sairam. One has to keep the tongue pure. This is referred to as right speech, which is purity in speech. The tongue has to be sanctified by refraining from falsehood, slander, and abusive speech. Thank you.
The next requirement is for every man, along with pure vision and pure thoughts is right action. Everyone should do pure deeds. By his capacity for developing good vision, entertaining good thoughts, and performing good deeds, man has the power to transform humanness into divinity.
Another requirement for man is right listening. When one listens to sacred words, he can only then have sacred thoughts.
Saidam. Right living is making one's life meaningful by ideal actions. It is leading to a worldly life attached to worldly pursuits. Saidam.
Buddha declared that everyone should aim at right effort, that is to eliminate evil tendencies in man and acquiring good and sacred qualities.
After this is right realization, to look upon light and darkness, pleasure and pain, profit and loss, fame and censure. With an equal mind, Buddha termed this equal-mindedness as nirvana. We have just touched briefly on the lessons learned from the Buddha. We are now going to have a guided meditation led by the young adults, followed by one of Swami's Chinna Kada.
Let us sit up straight for Jyoti meditation. Hands relaxed in the lap, with your right hand on top of your left hand, palms facing up and thumbs lightly touching. Take a deep breath and breathe slowly and evenly. Look steadily at the flame before you. Now, close your eyes and visualize the flame with its warm golden color. Bring the flame nearer and nearer to you and feel it enter you through the center of your forehead between your eyebrows. Let the flame descend to your heart and imagine your heart as a beautiful lotus flower, pure and white. As the flame enters the heart, Imagine the petals of the lotus open out one by one, bathing every single thought, feeling, and emotion in the light, and so removing darkness from them. Your heart is now filled with light, with love and peace. With this light, you are full of love and you are pure. Imagine the light in your heart growing wider, bigger, brighter, and radiating its rays down your arms all the way to your hands, filling both hands with light. Your hands are now filled with light and have become the instruments of light and love. With this light, you will do good deeds and serve all. Now, visualize the light in your heart spreading down the body, slowly along the legs to the feet, and filling both feet with light. Your feet are now filled with light. With this light, you will go only to good places where there is love, light, and peace, and meet only with good people. Let the light spread from the heart up to your throat and surround the tongue and the mouth with light. Your mouth and tongue are now filled with light. Now, with this light, you will speak softly and always tell the truth and say only what is necessary and useful. Slowly, the light extends upward to the ears and fills both ears with light. With this light, you will hear only good things. Now, extend the light and let it spread to the eyes, filling both eyes with light. Again, concentrate on the light. With this light, you will see good in all things. Now, visualize the light entering your forehead and filling the head with light, purifying the mind. Your head is now charged with light. Now, with this light, all unhealthy and negative thoughts vanish. Darkness cannot be present, and you will only have good thoughts. Imagine the light in you glowing more and more intensely. Let the light shine all around you, enveloping you in the brilliance of love. Now, visualize the divine form of Bhagavan Sri Satya Sai Baba and offer this light at his divine lotus feet. Now, extend this light and surround your loved ones. The other members of your family friends, and especially those who are unkind to you, or whom you perceive to be unkind to you. May they all be filled with light, with love, and with peace. Let the light expand to the entire world so that all mankind, animals, plants, and all living beings are filled with light. May the entire universe be filled with light. Now, imagine that there is only light, and that you are the source of this light. The light is within you. You are one with this light. Now, sit silently for a few minutes and immerse yourself in this light, in love and in peace. Jai Sai Ram.
Om Shri Sai Ram. May all beings have happiness and the causes of happiness. May all be free from sorrow and the causes of sorrow. May all never be separated from the sacred happiness which is sorrowless. And may all live in equanimity without too much attachment and too much aversion, and live believing in the equality of all that lives. Jai Sai Ram.
Let's share this little story of Buddha that we have learnt in class. Once, Buddha entered a village along with his disciples. A lady approached him and requested him to have lunch in her house. Buddha blessed her and accepted her invitation. Seeing this, many villagers, including the village headman, warned Buddha, saying, "O Buddha, you are one of wisdom and have renounced everything. The lady Ambashali is a courtesan dancer and is not of good character. It is not proper of you to have food in her house."
Buddha smiled and asked the villager headman to come forward. Buddha, holding firmly the right hand of the headman, asked him to clap. The headman said it was not possible for him to clap, since one of his hands was in Buddha's hold. Buddha said, "True, it is possible to clap only when two hands come together. Likewise, the lady cannot turn bad by herself unless there are men of bad character in the village. The men of this village are the root cause of her bad character." The villagers realized their folly, fell at Buddha's feet and sought his forgiveness. Through his teaching,
Buddha instilled sacredness and wisdom in people.
బుద్ధుడు ఈ విధమైనటువంటి యొక్క ఆలోచన చేతనే 26 సంవత్సరములు కాలమునంతా కూడాను సద్వినియోగపరచాలని ప్రయత్నించాడు. గ్రంథములు కూడాను చదివాడు, మహనీయులను దర్శించినాడు, వారి ప్రబోధనలు చక్కగా శ్రవణం చేశాడు. కానీ కట్టకడపటికి ఇవి ఏవి కూడాను నిజమైనటువంటి జ్ఞానాన్ని అందించలేవు అనే సత్యాన్ని గుర్తించాడు. తన యందే గూఢంగా ఉండినటువంటి యొక్క జ్ఞానము, తన యందే అజ్ఞాతంగా నిలిచినటువంటి యొక్క ఈ జ్ఞానమును బాహ్య ప్రపంచమునందున్నటువంటి వ్యక్తులు ఏ రీతిగా బోధించగలరు? కనుకనే తన జ్ఞానమును, తన ఆత్మానందమును తానే గుర్తించాలని గొప్ప తపస్సు చేశాడు. తన దృష్టిని అంతర్ముఖం గావించాడు, బహిర్ముఖ దృష్టిని కూడాను పూర్తి స్తంభింపచేశాడు. క్రమేణా తన నుండి ఒక ఆత్మజ్ఞానము ఆవిర్భవిస్తూ వచ్చింది. అప్పుడే బుద్ధం శరణం గచ్చామి అన్నాడు, సంఘం శరణం గచ్చామి, తర్వాతనే ధర్మం శరణం గచ్చామి అనగా తన యందున్నటువంటి యొక్క ఆత్మజ్ఞానమును బుద్ధి ద్వారా తాను వినియోగించుకున్నాడు. బుద్ధి ద్వారా ఆవిర్భవించినటువంటి జ్ఞానమును సంఘములో ప్రవేశపెట్టాడు. సంఘములో ప్రవేశపెట్టినటువంటి ఈ జ్ఞానమును ధర్మము ద్వారా ఆచరించడానికి ప్రయత్నించాడు. కనుక మానవుడు జ్ఞానమును పొందాలనుకుంటే గ్రంథ పరిచయం ద్వారా జ్ఞానము ఏనాటికి పొందలేడు. ఇవన్నీ కేవలము కాలం వ్యర్థము గావించుకునే నిమిత్తమై చేసేటువంటి పనులే. అంతఃకరణను పరిపూర్ణంగా అభివృద్ధి గావించుకున్నప్పుడే ఆత్మజ్ఞానం మనకు లభ్యమవుతుంది. శక్తులు కూడా మానవుని యొక్క అంతఃకరణ యందే ఇమిడి ఉంటున్నవి. మానవుడు ఇట్టి అంతఃకరణ ఆనందమును అనుభవించకోరి అనేక చదువులు చదువుతున్నాడు. ఈ చదువుల ద్వారా మనకు జ్ఞానం లభిస్తుందని ఆశిస్తూ వస్తున్నాడు. కానీ తదుపరి అధికారం చేతనే జ్ఞానం లభిస్తుందని అధికారంలో ప్రవేశించాడు. తదుపరి గృహస్థ మార్గం లోపల ఈ జ్ఞానం అనుభవించవచ్చునని తాను ప్రయత్నించాడు. సర్వమును త్యాగం చేసుకుని కేవలము తపస్సులకు ప్రవేశపెట్టాడు. ఎన్ని విధములైనటువంటి సాధనలు ప్రయత్నం చేసినప్పటికీ తన నుండి ఈ జ్ఞానము ఆవిర్భవించడం లేదు. మానవుడు అనుభవించవలసినటువంటి ఆనందము చదువులో లేదు, కేవలము తపస్సులో లేదు, లేక గృహస్థ ధర్మంలో లేదు, పరిత్యాగంలో లేదు. న తపాంసి న తీర్థానాం న శాస్త్రాణం జపానహి సంసార సాగరోత్తారే సజ్జనం సేవనం వినా. తపస్సు ద్వారా, ధ్యానము ద్వారా, జపం ద్వారా ఈ ఆనందం మనకు లభ్యం కాదు. ఇవన్నీ కూడాను కాలమును సద్వినియోగం గావించుకునేటువంటి నిమిత్తమై నియమించినటువంటి యొక్క సత్కర్మలే. మానవుని హృదయమునందున్నటువంటి యొక్క శక్తి ఏ ప్రదేశమునందు కూడాను మనకు కానరాదు. మానవుని యందు అనేక విధమైనటువంటి అజ్ఞాత శక్తులు ఇవిడి ఉంటున్నవి. మానవుని యొక్క శరీరమే ఒక పెద్ద జనరేటర్, మానవుని యొక్క హృదయమే పెద్ద మ్యాగ్నెట్, మానవుని యొక్క ఆలోచన శక్తియే గొప్ప కరెంటు. కనుకనే ఈ విధమైనటువంటి సర్వశక్తులు కూడాను మానవుని యందే ఇమిడి ఉంటున్నవి. కనుకనే కట్టకరపటికి బుద్ధుడు ఏమి నిర్ణయం చేసుకున్నాడు? భగవంతుడు అందించినటువంటి ఈ 5 కర్మేంద్రియములను, 5 జ్ఞానేంద్రియములను సద్వినియోగపరిచినప్పుడే మనకు సరైన ఆనందం లభిస్తుందని విశ్వసించాడు.
The best way to celebrate Buddha Poornima is to put into practice the teachings of Buddha. It is not enough to be happy just on this festival day. By constantly reliving the experience of this holy day, you must experience joy all the time. In his last moments, Buddha summoned his stepbrother Ananda to impart to him his final message. Placing his palm on the head of his younger brother, Buddha said, "My dear child, I came to this world to teach. If anyone asks where is God, the answer is, he is everywhere. Truth is God. Speak the truth. Do not harm anyone. Recognize that the highest dharma is non-violence, ahimsa."
Sairam, I really hope that you've enjoyed today's program as much as I have. It's been really enjoyable. We're nearly at the end, I have to say, but it's been wonderful to see everyone come together from all of the centres and groups in our region in unity and in satsang on this very auspicious occasion. Firstly, our thanks go to His Eminence the Third Dubseni Rinpoche for having taken time out of his very busy schedule to join us for this occasion and to talk to us about the Buddha and his compassion. I hope you enjoyed his talk as much as I did. Our thanks also go to the delightful SSE children that you saw today, and all the wonderful presentations that they did. They've obviously worked very hard, and thanks to them, their parents and their SSE gurus for making all of that happen. Thanks also go to the young adults of our region. They have not only provided the guided meditation slot that you saw earlier, which I'm sure you all benefited from, but they've also been helping behind the scenes. They put together the flyer for this program. They've helped actually assemble this program. Obviously, it's an online program. They're helping to put all that together with all the media support. So our thanks go to them for all of that invaluable support. And of course, thanks to everyone, all of you in all of our centres and groups around our regions for just coming together to help support this programme. You know who you are, you know the work that you've done, so thank you. And last but definitely not least, our thanks to our beloved Swami for his love, his support, his guidance and his blessings. Without him, this programme simply would not have happened. Without him, nothing ever happens. So, thank you, Swami. Now, we end the program with group devotional singing and Aarti. Sai Ram.
गणेश शरणं परम पावनं सत्य साईनं गजाननम् गणेश शरणं परम पावनं सत्य साईनं गजाननम् नित्यस्मरणं परमपावनं सत्यसायिनं गजाननम् नित्यस्मरणं परमपावनं सत्यसायिनं गजाननम् सद्गुरुचरणं परमपावनं सत्यसायिनं गजाननम् सद्गुरुचरणं परमपावनं सत्यसायिनं गजाननम् भवभयहरणं परमपावनं सत्यसायिनं गजाननम् भवभयहरणं परमपावनं सत्यसायिनं गजाननम् गणेश शरणं परमपावनं सत्यसायिनं गजाननम् नित्यस्मरणं परमपावनं सत्यसायिनं गजाननम् सत्यसायिनं गजाननम् भवभयहरणं परमपावनं सत्यसायिनं गजाननम् भवभयहरणं परमपावनं सत्यसायिनं गजाननम् गणेशशरणं परमपावनं सत्यसायिनं गजाननम्
राम कहो कृष्ण कहो ईश्वर अल्लाह साई कहो 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 बुद्ध कहो गुरु नानक कहो चौराष्ट्र महावीर यीशु कहो बुद्ध कहो गुरु नानक कहो चौराष्ट्र महावीर यीशु कहो बुद्ध कहो गुरु नानक कहो चौराष्ट्र महावीर यीशु कहो बुद्ध कहो गुरु नानक कहो चौराष्ट्र महावीर यीशु कहो राम कहो कृष्ण कहो ईश्वर अल्लाह साई कहो राम कहो कृष्ण कहो ईश्वर अल्लाह साई कहो युग अवतार तुम हो विश्व शक्ति तुम हो 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 सर्वधर्म प्रिय साई महेश्वर सर्वधर्म प्रिय साई महेश्वर सर्वधर्म प्रिय साई महेश्वर सर्वधर्म प्रिय साई महेश्वर परब्रह्म तुम हो साई परब्रह्म तुम हो साई परब्रह्म तुम हो साई परब्रह्म तुम हो राम कहो कृष्ण कहो ईश्वर अल्लाह साई कहो राम कहो कृष्ण कहो ईश्वर अल्लाह साई कहो बुद्ध कहो गुरु नानक कहो चौराष्ट्र महावीर यीशु कहो बुद्ध कहो गुरु नानक कहो चौराष्ट्र महावीर यीशु कहो राम कहो कृष्ण कहो ईश्वर अल्लाह साई कहो कहो कृष्ण कहो ईश्वर अल्लाह साई कहो युग अवतार तुम हो विश्व शक्ति तुम हो युग अवतार तुम हो विश्व शक्ति तुम हो सर्वधर्म प्रिय साई महेश्वर सर्वधर्म प्रिय साई महेश्वर परब्रह्म तुम हो साई परब्रह्म तुम हो साई पर ब्रह्म तुम हो,
साई पर ब्रह्म तुम हो।
राम कहो कृष्ण कहो, ईश्वर अल्लाह साई कहो।
सर्वधर्म प्रिय देवा,
सर्वधर्म प्रिय देवा,
सर्वधर्म प्रिय देवा,
सर्वधर्म प्रिय देवा,
सत्य साई देवा,
सत्य साई देवा,
सत्य साई देवा,
सत्य साई देवा।
अल्लाह ईसु बुधर नानक,
अल्लाह ईशु बुद्ध नानक,
अल्लाह ईसु बुधर नानक,
अल्लाह ईशु बुद्ध नानक।
जो राष्ट्र महावीर तुम हो,
जो राष्ट्र महावीर तुम हो,
जो राष्ट्र महावीर तुम हो,
जो राष्ट्र महावीर तुम हो।
राम भी तुम हो, कृष्ण भी तुम हो,
राम भी तुम हो, कृष्ण भी तुम हो,
राम भी तुम हो, कृष्ण भी तुम हो,
राम भी तुम हो, कृष्ण भी तुम हो।
विश्व रूप तुम हो,
विश्व रूप तुम हो,
विश्व रूप तुम हो,
साई विश्व रूप तुम हो,
साई विश्व रूप तुम हो,
साई विश्व रूप तुम हो।
सर्वधर्म प्रिय देवा,
सर्वधर्म प्रिय देवा,
सत्य साई देवा,
सत्य साई देवा।
अल्लाह ईसु बुधर नानक,
अल्लाह ईशु बुद्ध नानक।
जो राष्ट्र महावीर तुम हो,
जो राष्ट्र महावीर तुम हो,
राम भी तुम हो, कृष्ण भी तुम हो,
राम भी तुम हो, कृष्ण भी तुम हो।
विश्व रूप तुम हो,
विश्व रूप तुम हो,
विश्व रूप तुम हो,
साई विश्व रूप तुम हो,
साई विश्व रूप तुम हो,
साई विश्व रूप तुम हो।
सर्वधर्म प्रिय देवा।
अल्लाहु अकबर, अल्लाहु अकबर, अल्लाहु अकबर,
अल्लाहु अकबर, अल्लाहु अकबर, अल्लाहु अकबर,
अल्लाहु अकबर, अल्लाहु अकबर, अल्लाहु अकबर,
अल्लाहु अकबर, अल्लाहु अकबर, अल्लाहु अकबर।
ईशु पिता प्रभु अल्लाह अकबर, शिरडी साई पति साई तुम हो।
ईशु पिता प्रभु अल्लाह अकबर, शिरडी साई पति साई तुम हो।
ईशु पिता प्रभु अल्लाह अकबर, शिरडी साई पति साई तुम हो।
ईशु पिता प्रभु अल्लाह अकबर, शिरडी साई पति साई तुम हो।
गुरु नानक भी तुम हो,
गुरु नानक भी तुम हो,
गुरु नानक भी तुम हो,
गुरु नानक भी तुम हो।
ज़ोराष्ट्र बुद्ध भी तुम हो,
ज़ोराष्ट्र बुद्ध भी तुम हो,
ज़ोराष्ट्र बुद्ध भी तुम हो,
ज़ोराष्ट्र बुद्ध भी तुम हो।
ईशु पिता अकबर अल्लाह अकबर अल्लाह अकबर
अल्लाह अकबर अल्लाह अकबर अल्लाह अकबर।
यीशु पिता प्रभु अल्लाह अकबर श्री साई पति साई तुम हो।
यीशु पिता प्रभु अल्लाह अकबर श्री साई पति साई तुम हो।
गुरु नानक भी तुम हो।
गुरु नानक भी तुम हो।
ज़ोराष्ट्र बुद्ध भी तुम हो।
ज़ोराष्ट्र बुद्ध भी तुम हो।
यीशु पिता प्रभु तुम हो।
यीशु पिता प्रभु तुम हो।
अल्लाह अकबर तुम हो।
साई अल्लाह अकबर तुम हो।